Anime shows are often known to test the tolerance for gore and dark themes among the viewers, but some anime take things to a whole new level. There are anime shows with extreme forms of violence and bloodshed, and the brutality is not everyone's cup of tea. If you're not someone who's easily rattled, in this video, we have a pick of some of the most disturbing and dark anime shows, which are fully capable of ruining your mental peace. Do you dare to watch further? Basilisk, 2005. The story of Basilisk is premised during the late 16th century, and it captures the struggle for power between two rival ninja clans, the Iga Subagakure clan and the Koga Manjidani clan. Their long-lasting feud has spanned across centuries, until an uneasy truce was established between them under the service of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the man who formed the first stable centralized government in Japan. However, the rivalry is reignited when Ieyasu steps down and a succession dispute arises. As a solution to settle the problem, 10 representatives from each side are invited for a decisive battle until death. What will be the outcome of this bloody duel? Many have dubbed Basilisk as Japan's animated twist on Romeo and Juliet, and they aren't exaggerating. This anime series does a wonderful job of capturing the best of both worlds, the unforgivable violence and political conflict, and the adorable romance brewing in between. There are moments of nail-biting action, which gets a bit too gory for comfort at times. In fact, some of the fighting and brutality are straight up to the hardcore horror anime levels, and the viewers must be prepared to witness gallons of blood and guts. There are also some disturbing attempted rape scenes, and some sequences just capture the pain experienced before a violent death in detail. The animation quality is among the best in the business, and it is easily one of the most realistic ninja anime that you will come across. We strongly recommend every anime fan out there take a look. AJIN, DEMI-HUMAN, 2016. An AJIN is a demi-human who's immortal, and there are only a few of them around the world. After a freak accident where he is run over by a truck, a young high school student, KYOUKAI, finds out that he is an AJIN, and a mysterious substance brings him back to life. However, he now has a price on his head as the authorities are after him. Kei's struggle for survival gets harder when he realizes the presence of an evil AJIN, Mr. Sato, and several bounty hunters are sent after the young boy. As he goes on the run, Kei tries to protect the innocent humans, and his childhood friend is the only support that we will get. Can Kei come to terms with his true powers and leave an impact on this hostile world? This anime series is produced by Polygon Pictures, which is the same company that made Knights of Sidonia, so be prepared to get used to their style of CG animation. While this might take a while, the story will immediately grab your attention, and there aren't too many better plots featuring immortals in the mix of things. There are some insanely captivating characters, and the antagonist steals the show with his ruthlessness. The action in the narrative sets things on fire, but the show also ensures a few uncomfortable moments for the viewers. There are some human experiments that will push your boundaries, and scenes of arms being sawed off and other gruesome details are certainly not for the squeamish. There is also a haunting suicide sequence where a teen boy kills himself by slitting his own throat. If you can sit through all the gory action and splatter, you'll enjoy a great anime series with a rather interesting underlying theme. JORMUNGAND, 2012. Jonah is a child soldier who has been raised in a terrible conflict-ridden environment, and he hates anyone who deals in weapons. By a twist of fate, he ends up serving as a bodyguard for Koko Hekmatyar, an international arms dealer who has the finest soldiers protecting her. Ironically enough, Koko has this idealistic goal of world peace, and Jonah becomes dedicated to the task of protecting her from all the dangers that await her in this troublesome line of work. As Koko conducts her business across the world, she manages to stay clear of the authorities and all the threats that can potentially end her dreams of world peace. Can Jonah and the other super soldiers protect her until the end? The most interesting thing about this anime series is the primary character, Koko, who is as diverse as they get. Her guile and intellect combined with the way she deals with her crew make for a fun character, and the overall storytelling will keep you on the edge of your seats. The sound effects and animation are great, and the style is a bit more westernized than your usual anime show. As you can imagine, an anime show about an arms-dealing industry has its fair share of violence. While the random bloody shootouts are hardly objectionable, there are some disturbing moments, such as the time when innocent civilians are shot down mercilessly. Certain dark themes, like child soldiers, have also been subtly dealt with in the show. That being said, if you're an anime action fan, JORMUNGAND is a must-watch for you. Drifters, 2016. The story begins at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, and Toyohisa Shimazu is fatally injured while fighting alongside his retreating troops. Instead of death, he finds himself in a strange world, which is plagued by a great political unrest as some evil minds intend to take over. Luckily for Toyohisa, he's not alone, and there are gallant warriors from various eras from his own world, and they put up a brave fight against the tyrants called the Ends. The group is comprised of an Imperial Japanese naval officer, a World War II pilot, a ninja, and various others who are more than capable of ousting the oppressors. Can the unconventional heroes get together to save the world from the Ends? The dark artistic vibe to the animation is heavily reminiscent of the original Hellsing, but the animation style might take some getting used to. You will also require a couple of episodes to familiarize yourself with the plot, and you can be assured of some very satisfying moments in the narrative. Drifters can be bloody and unapologetic, and there are some scenes that might be a bit too much to digest, but there's an overall tendency to refrain from any excess. The action scenes are intense and memorable, and you can tell that Kota Hirano, the creator, has given it his all. If you're up for a good anime show with killer sword fights and a solid storyline, try out Drifters, and you'll not be complaining. Rin, Daughters of Mnemosyne, 2008. This 6-episode anime series takes you to a fantasy setting where a magical tree called Yggdrasil appears in the human world every once in a while. This tree releases several small orbs in the human world, and some special orbs called time fruits can make a female immortal. However, it turns a man into a crazy winged entity called an angel. Rin Asugi is one such immortal, and she runs a detective agency with another immortal assistant named Mimi. She tries her best to lead a normal life, but bizarre cases and dreaded enemies keep her on her toes. There's a powerful angel who's after her life, and the twists and turns in her story make for an engaging series. The series starts off in a typical anime fashion, but things quickly take a unique turn. There are some fascinating characters, and you get to see a lot of character development as almost 10 years pass between each episode in the timeline. We love the use of accurate mythical trivia in the story, and this delightfully dark anime has a great visual appeal with nicely designed characters and engaging backgrounds. The show can be shockingly violent and graphic, and there are a few disturbing sadistic scenes that are definitely not for sensitive viewers. You will also have to sit through some scenes of mutilation and dismemberment, and there is also a generous dose of fan service through explicit, intimate moments. Of course, the anime is far too good for these factors to be a deterrent, and we can assure you that this perfect combination of horror, mystery, gore, and erotica will entertain every fan out there. Monster, 2004. Dr. Kenzo Tenma has the perfect life as one of the most successful neurosurgeons among his peers. However, his life changes after he decides to change his medical ethics and treat everyone as equal. One fine day, he's caught up in a dilemma after a young child is brought in with a severe injury, and Dr. Tenma operates on the young boy instead of the mare, who was also brought in a short while later. This obviously has consequences on the status of Tenma, but things take a turn for the worse when he realizes that his patient might not be as ordinary as he thought. When the bodies of his peers start piling up, Dr. Kenzo Tenma must settle scores with his psychopathic former patient before it's too late. It wouldn't be too much of an overstatement if we said that Monster is one of the best seinen anime out there. Naoki Urasawa needs no introduction in the world of manga, and his work in Monster deserves all of the appreciation for its legendary status. The anime deals quite well with a complicated plot and twisted yet realistic characters. The masterful storytelling will get you hooked on the narrative, and you'll get an unexplained feeling of terror and loneliness while watching this anime. There is a constant tension in the plot, and you should be ready for gallons of blood and killings across the show. Monster will manage to please the pickiest of anime lovers, and this unique crime drama with shades of horror should be right up your watch list if you haven't checked it out already. Terraformers, 2014. This is the story of an ambitious space program gone wrong, where humans in the 21st century sent out cockroaches and mold to the planet Mars to try and warm it up to be suitable for human habitation. The cockroach corpses were supposed to serve as food for the mold, and the mold was supposed to absorb the sunlight and heat up the planet. When the first human manned ship lands on Mars in the year 2577, they're in for a nasty surprise. The planet is now overrun by mutated humanoid cockroaches, and the crew is wiped out quite easily. However, they manage to send out a message to Earth, and now the finest warriors will arrive to deal with the deadly mutated cockroaches. As you can understand from the plot, the anime has a fairly simple theme, but the narrative never allows things to take a dull turn, and even without any real central character, you'll never lose interest. It takes the best bits from the cheesy 80s sci-fi and action movies and puts together a monster battle that keeps the adrenaline flowing all the time. The confrontation scenes between the humans and mutated bugs are not exactly a pretty sight. There is a disturbing amount of gore, where you will witness things like heads being ripped off or guts falling out or people being crushed to death. However, we still advise you to check out the uncensored version of the show for the best results. The second season is not as engaging as the first, but overall, FORMARS is still a solid, action-packed anime series. CANAAN 2009. Maria is a Japanese photographer who works in Shanghai, and she seeks out newsworthy stories across the city along with her partner Mino. A local festival is disturbed by some strange events, and when the two journalists go there to explore, they're caught in between a fierce battle. Just as Maria is about to fall victim to the crossfire, a mysterious friend named CANAAN appears and helps her escape. She turns out to be a deadly Middle Eastern assassin, and they soon find themselves up against a notorious terrorist group and its leader, Alphard. Can their friendship stand against the might of the terrorist organization and its forces? This is one of the truly underrated gems of the Yuri anime genre, and the brilliant blend of diverse characters and exciting action makes things a lot of fun. The three main characters have past connections, and it all culminates in their unlikely reunion. We were quite impressed by the detailed visuals and setting of China, which is not very common in anime. The animation quality is remarkable, and the action sequences stand out as the best parts of the anime. Although the narrative is fairly serious, there are quite a few laughs to be enjoyed along the way. This is helpful, especially because of the extremely dark nature of the narrative. There's an abundance of violence and graphic, intimate moments, but those with a steady heart will have a gala time with this entertaining series. Kara no KYOUKAI, The Garden of Sinners, 2007. This will be counted as one of the most peculiar anime that we have ever experienced, and the bizarre story is as innovative as it is disturbing. It captures the bizarre event of random suicides among high school girls, and these deaths are mysterious because the girls don't leave behind any suicide notes. In fact, most of these girls who kill themselves have no apparent reason to do so, and something sinister seems to be causing the tragedies. Strangely enough, they all seem to jump from the Fujo building, which is a run-down, abandoned high-rise in the city. Shiki gets wind of a strange force in the works, but she needs to set things right before someone else's life is endangered. There are other stories that follow in the series, but none are as intriguing as this one. The project was initially envisioned as a 26-episode anime series, but it was later changed to be movies in parts. There are 7 Kara no KYOUKAI movies, and all of them are equally impressive in their subject matter. Although each film is about a different incident, there are certain flashback sequences that explain certain past events in subsequent movies. Now, coming back to the opening installment, the story of Shiki, the mystery is crafted to perfection. Don't let the beautiful and bleak animation fool you, because things get shockingly brutal at times. The dangerous force that Shiki is about to confront is the highlight of this part, but we get to learn more about Shiki in the later films in the series. For the best experience, you need to check out the entire series, and it's the best way to utilize your entertainment time. MARDOCK SCRAMBLE, 2010. MARDOCK SCRAMBLE is a 3-part anime flick, and the first one deals with the harrowing story of a 15-year-old sex worker named Rune Ballot. In a futuristic Kamina city, she is rescued on the verge of death, and in order to sustain her life, she's turned into a cyborg. She then goes on to assist in the investigations against the man who tried to kill her in the first place. It's soon revealed that his sinister organization, called the October Corporation, is engaged in various illegal activities, and it's up to our Lady RoboCop-like Ballot to bring him to justice. The second part explores Ballot's struggles further as she comes under attack, and the final part, titled MARDOCK SCRAMBLE: The Third Exhaust, finishes things off in style. Nothing sells better than a revenge drama packed with action, and all 3 parts of MARDOCK SCRAMBLE give you plenty of that. The beginning of the trilogy is probably the best among the lot, but the content is definitely intended for a mature audience. Due to the disturbing themes such as human trafficking and sex workers, there is quite a bit of graphic sexual content, and even even the violent moments are not really toned down. There's also a constant element of sci-fi and technology, which gives the story an innovative touch. If we are given such compelling subject matter coupled with an interesting cyberpunk storyline, we simply oblige, and we expect you do the same. That's all for this one, but do let us know in the comments below about your favorite anime from the list, and also tell us about the ones that you're excited to check out. After all, for each of these anime, the underlying quality content far surpasses the disturbing stuff and makes it well worth your time. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.